Hey guys, I am Akil from PrimeFX and today we are going to learn how to make bouncing ball like this in Blender. So we are going to shade this and bounce as it is bouncing now, right now. So we should not talk further and let's get started. So take a look at this reference image and or reference video and go to Blender. Now add a new scene. Already have new scene, but I am going to open a new scene. Now just delete default cube, shift A, UV sphere, shaded smooth, go to front view and it's change its location to 1, so it will be on its last point will be on the world origin. So go to select this UV sphere and go to shading, add a new material to it and go to render properties and just turn on bloom. So right now we don't have any bloom, so if we just turn it to white, so we have colors, RGB colors on. Now we can use any color for its bloom, and when we will turn its strength up to 11 or some 1 5 10, it will bloom like this, but we don't want it to bloom like so. So for that we are going to use shift A, search, UV, map, break it into uh, different axes. So I use V-Ray in 3ds Max, so I was just hoping it will make connection. So search for separate XYZ. So now it is has taken the two dimensions x and y, and now it is has broken it into x and y. Now if we add color ramp and connect this color ramp to y axis or the y axis of separated UV to this factor node, so we will get this emission color. We want emission color to be like we have in our example. So just move them all along here, and this white color should be black, also black. So click here, nothing will happen. Add a new color stop to the color ramp. Now change this added color stop, the color of this newly added color stop to the white. So click on here, add a white. Now we have some coloring over here, but we want to change it to something red, like a red, and we want it to be constant, so it will have some constant properties to that, and change its base color to all the way black, and now we should have to change this to like we want. So our example was just like this. So our example have some color something like so, but we will just increase its strength and change its color to more like so. So I think we have some, but it is was something blue or red. So now we have our basically our shader set. So what we did, we just took the UV map, then separated it in x and y, and then we took y, and then we added a color ramp, and we just some worked with the stops, and then we got this color. So I think we are pretty done with the shader. Now we should move on to our animation. So for that we have to add a curve circle. So now, and then we should paint this ball to the circle, the curve circle. So now when we will move this, scale it, so this is a child and this is the parent, so it will scale like in accordance with the scale of the Bezier curve, which is our circle. So now what we have to do is, now we have to add some animation to that. For that I am going to use 40 keyframes. So it will be start at 1 and it will go to 40. So add a new keyframe I. So first of all we should I, location, and then location. Now at frame 20, it is 5 meter above the origin, so from its original location. So I, location. Now you can see how it is connecting. It is telling that there is no animation between this keyframe and this keyframe. There is no any information between these two keyframes. Now when we add a new keyframe here, it will say it will automatically gone, because it has now got information between these two animations. So Blender is very useful in these information. So now what we have to do, you just play this out. Look at this, how it is looking. It is just like waving, or there is gravity under the ball and which is not propelling it from the surface. So it is not completely hitting the surface or hitting the ground. So we have to make it look like it looks like it hits the ground, and then it gets some force from the ground, kinetic energy from the ground, and then it goes repulsive energy from the ground and it goes upward. So we have to make it. So for that we have to go to graph editor and just turn off x and y location, because we only need z location. So because we have added this in z location, so we have to just press home. Now you can see this z location is just like it is going slowly, and then it goes at this, and then slowly it comes here. Look at this. This is the way, this is the point it will hit on the ground. So it will, our ground is basically this, because we first of all we moved it 1 meter above, because so that this is not these lines or these keyframes are not and this line. So it's okay, don't worry, it's not necessary to be on that, because when we just turn off these, there is no any ground for that. So turn it off, turn it on, and now just select these two keyframes and change its handle type to free. So now select this one of this and move them like so, so that we have sharp curve between them. Now we have some life to the ball, and you can see it is showing that it is hitting the ground, and then it is going upward by getting some force from the ground. So we are basically done with this, and now we have to go to squash and stretch. So enter I, scale, and 0.7. now it has added a keyframe, and now go to frame 40 and I and scale. Now for a reference, I am going to add this scale value between this, because it will have no any use, but I am going to add it, and then after that I will remove that in a second. Look at this, we are now getting a squash and stretch, but it is looking very odd. Wow, you can see how beautiful it is, but now we are going to make it more beautiful. So I think after 4 keyframes I am going to add another keyframe. So at frame 36 scale, we could copy it, but what we are going to do is we are going to just make the z value of this to 1 as it was it. So make it 1. Now I told you that this value, this keyframe is useless. So what is happening here, it is when it hits the ground, it is now getting the velocity or getting the power, and then it squashes and then it goes. And it now look at this, it is now 0.7, and it has got squash and stretch, and now it is as its one value, and it has no squash and stretch. Look at this, we have got the squash and stretch. Look at this. So now basically we are done with our squash and stretch, but you can make it more precise by just going graph editor, z value, just turn these on off, and then going here, and the same way we did with our ball to make it more linear. So just we have to make it just go to select any keyframe and right click and handle type to set its handle type to free, and then just do it. This is a Bezier curve, but we want it to be more linear. So now it has some linear values, we should make them a little bit linear. So see what happens now. Look at this, now we have something more predictable and something more which is close to reality. Now we are going to add a cycle modifier to our animation. I think I should keep this in for the next tutorial,